Peace and love. Ashe, namaste. You already know what this is. Um, I would like to welcome you back to another occult healing session. Okay, so I hope you guys are all doing well. We're going to talk about a very, very important topic, okay, which is alchemy. Alchemy 101. The true alchemy. What alchemy really is. All right, because I see a lot of bull crap all over online and stuff. So I'm gonna give you what real alchemy is, okay? Before I do that, I got two YouTube channels I want to shout out. Like I said to you guys before, all of my followers, all of you guys that mean something to me, all of you guys that are, that have good energy, that are beautiful people. I want to promote whatever it is that you're doing, your business, your YouTube channel, whatever you're trying to do, so we can all start coming together and we can all start working together and we can all start, getting what we deserve, which is, our brands, what we're trying to create, start putting them up on a higher level. So especially during this time where a lot of people are not currently working at their regular job. This is also a perfect time. Any of those people that got the how to make money from home session, this is the perfect time to start on that stuff if you haven't already. And if you're interested in the how to make money from home session that I bring, teach you how to make money from home. Teach you how me and my people bring in around $10,000 to $13,000 a month off extra income that we barely even work for. All right. Coathealing22 at gmail.com. The email's in the description. Make sure you email me. Okay. I want to shout out Ancient Light Insights. Okay. I'm going to have her YouTube channel in the description of this video. So, go show some love to one of the fellow Occult Healing Tribe members. I also want to give a shout out to Dream Beyond Fathom. Okay, I also will have her YouTube channel in the description of this video. Again, go show some love, go subscribe. Support our people, support the people that that you love, that we're connected to. Okay, so without further ado, what we're going to talk about is, like I said, alchemy. All right, now, just like anything else. Okay, if you've been following me for a little while, even if it's just a little while, I'm always talking about the four worlds because this plays a key role in all of spirituality, which spirituality represents everything. I know we have these people out here that like to claim that the materialistic world is different. Now, it is different, but it's still connected. It's a product. The materialistic world is a product of the spiritual world. You can't. So if you hate one, that means you hate the other. All right. That's like you disrespecting somebody's child, right? You say, I hate your child. That's disrespecting the mother. All right. Same concept, guys. We gotta start understanding these things. Okay. So four worlds, we know these are different worlds, but they're all connected. They all need each other. It's just like your body. All right, you have your head, you have your arms, you have your legs, feet, right? These are different things, right? But it's all connected to one. Okay, it's all one thing that's connected, though it's different parts of one thing. So now when it comes to alchemy, I'm gonna make this as simple as possible. Anybody that knows me knows that I make things simple because that's what real teachers do. That's what real teachers do. I'm not going to turn this into a 5-hour lecture talking about one little point. All right. I'm going to go through everything, but as simple as possible. Again, we can get into Kabbalah. We can get into all these things and make everything complicated. Okay. Now, if you're interested in that type of information and you want to go all out, by all means, continue to do more research. But just some people just want to get straight to the point. Most of the people, because again, if you were like me coming up in this community, you wanted to learn every little bit of everything. And I would spend hours and hours. I probably spent hundreds and hundreds of dollars on books and all this time, and just looking after lecture and all this stuff. That's because I was meant to be a teacher within this field. Okay, not everybody's meant to be a teacher in this field. Some people just need to get the information so they can use it for their life and make changes so they can fuel the dream that they have. All right, we all have different dreams. Not everybody's meant to be a teacher in this field as far as, dealing with spirituality and metaphysics, okay? Not everybody's meant to do that. So the first thing I want to talk about, again, we're going to talk about the four worlds. We're going to go in order. So as you know, you start off with the earth element. I'm holding up four worlds. All right. Just for anybody that's new, if you are new, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell button when you subscribe so you can get these updates because we're about to be dropping signs. All right. All right, so just in case you're new, the four worlds, we have the earth element, the physical realm. We have the water element, the emotional realm. And we have the air element, which is the mental realm. Then also we have the fire element, which is the spiritual realm. There's four different types of alchemy, guys. And when you combine these, this is when you do true alchemy. For most people, what they hear about is the physical realm alchemy. And most people don't even get this right. So this is what I'm going to tell you. All right. So physical alchemy. All right. This is when, first of all, I'm so sorry. First of all, let me explain what alchemy is in a simple term. Alchemy is when you take something and you transmute that to something else. There's a specific reason why I said transmute. Okay. Plus, I just like that word better than transform. Okay. So, all right. Some of the simple forms of alchemy, okay, are using the herbs to make them tinctures or tea. This is what we call alchemy. Okay. But obviously we kind of lost the true art of really, really making alchemical compounds because it's not just as simple as but it really, technically, again, if you want to describe alchemy, when you take a herb, right? And let's just say you put it in hot water or even better, alcohol, okay? And you let it sit for a while, especially if the alcohol, you let it sit for a long period of time, you turn it into a tincture, right? You take all those properties from that element or from that object, and then you transmute it to a liquid form. Okay. And that way, when you take it, it's even more powerful than actually if you took it in the herbal form. So so liquid supplements are always going to be more powerful than the physical capsules or tablets. Okay. This is because obviously your body can absorb it better. All right. But here's the thing. Here's the magic we're going to get into. Okay. Because this is, they would attach, spiritual science to these things. Okay. Because see, they were using these herbs for a certain reason. Now, remember, these are people that understood astrology and numerology and the other great work. So they would combine this knowledge with the herbal supplements. Because here we go. Certain herbs are ruled by certain planets and asteroids. Certain herbs, or certain times of the day are ruled by planets and asteroids and certain numbers. Again, and so on and so forth. They would combine it with the knowledge of the sun. Remember, I told you guys about the sun projecting its rays at different times of the day equals a different energy. This is called, archangels, angles of life. Angles of light. Okay, which I was telling you guys the mythology. Well, the whole reason why our ancient cultures always express science and numerology and biology through mythology. Okay, because in order for a child to understand true science, you have to, and not even just children, people, period, unless you were meant to be a teacher. Okay, this is when you hear a teacher explaining deep science and it's going all over your head. That's not a good teacher. So our ancient ancestors would explain science, numerology, biology, whatever it is, through story format. And they would use archetypes and characteristics. So this is how you have the archangels, because it represents the sun's light. Every time the sun shines at a different time period of the day, it represents a different energy. So what our ancient cultures did was they attached an archetype to it, an archangel's archetype. All right. Again, this is not a physical being. It's going to come down and start speaking to you. Again, it represents an energy, just like, we talk about figures like Buddha and Jesus Christ. These represent archetypes because we're explaining science here. We're explaining biology. We're explaining astro theology. All right, we gotta understand these things. Now, I know if if you grew up in certain situations, you're gonna believe that these things are actually literal, because I already told you guys that society has already made you, it's already made you very, very left-brained, where you're so logical that you take everything literal. You no longer see the magic and imagination. You no longer understand poetry. You no longer understand mythology. You no longer understand the intuition. Everything is so logical now. And that's what makes you take these things literal. When you read something, you take it literal because you're using your logic too much. And the logic needs to be used for certain reasons, especially when it comes to taking care of your family, right? This is how you make sure you're able to feed your family and keep your household. You need the logic. But for this type of work, we're going to need to work with the intuition. We're going to need to work with understanding poetry. We're going to need to work with understanding mythology and symbolism. Okay. So I said all this because what I really am trying to say is that, again, certain herbs and supplements were used. Certain herbs and supplements are ruled by certain things, certain planets, okay, certain numerology symbols. Again, this gets into sacred geometry as well. It's all connected. Remember, I said that these things are not separate. It's just like the four worlds, what I was just explaining. So sacred geometry, alchemy, astrology, numerology, so on and so forth. These are all different parts, but they're all of the same whole. In order for you to truly understand one thing, so my tarot card lovers, right, that means you're going to have to learn at least a little bit of astrology, at least a little bit of numerology, at least a little bit of sacred geometry and symbolism. So just like if you want to become an astrologer, you're going to have to, in order for you to become a great astrologer, you're going to have to learn a little bit of these other things. You don't have to master, because obviously you become a master in the thing that connects with you the most. Okay. But in order for you to truly understand something, you're going to have to understand the whole. All right. So alchemy plays a key role here. So, of course, like I always say, knowing your astrology chart is very important to using alchemy, physical alchemy. Like I said, using herbal tinctures. Okay. And this goes way beyond just herbal tinctures, but I'm just giving you guys an example to make it super, super simple. So let's take, for example, that you are trying to get the energy of Mars. Now, we know what Mars represents, right? Mars represents action. Mars represents aggression. Mars represents getting what is yours in life and defending yourself. And again, it's your sexual energy. It's your willpower. This is what Mars represents. So let's just say you're trying to attract more of this energy. Okay. Um, So what you can do, of course, is you can do your research on the herbs that are ruled by Mars. Okay. The herbs that are ruled by Mars, and what you can do is create a tincture out of that. Again, I'm making it very simple because obviously there's some science behind here on how to really do this, but I'm just telling you the alchemical process. All right. You make a tincture out of that. And then you take that tincture on certain time periods of the day and certain days of the week. We already know Mars rules Tuesday. Okay. Mars rules Tuesday. Like I said, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible, but so you can understand exactly what I'm saying. All right. Now, what happens because here's the thing, alchemy was used to take you to the next level spiritually. So this is when you got to understand that ruling sign. That ruling sign, I mean, that ruling planet in your astrology chart. I'm always talking about the ruling planet, the ruling sign. As I told you before, guys, the rulerships in your astrology chart play a key role. So all you people that haven't had an astrology reading with me, it's good because I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that are going to be, useful to you when it comes to knowing those rulerships. All right. And anybody else that needs an astrology reading, make sure you get that astrology reading with me by contacting me, emailing me at occulthealing22@gmail.com. The email's in the description of this video, because you might have had an astrology reading before, but I doubt you've heard about your your rulerships. Your rulerships are your most important aspects in your astrology chart. So when we're talking about the occult, when we're talking about using the occult to help you get to the next level, you're always going to hear me or somebody else talk about these rulerships because they're super, super important. Obviously, there's other things within your chart that are super important as well, but I'm telling you that the that the rulerships are the most important because, especially when it comes to creating tinctures, right? And like I said, basically what this is you don't have to even use alcohol. You can use the hot water. You can use the tea. You can go on somewhere like mountainroseherbs.com and you can get bulk herbs, right? For very, very cheap and organic and cultivated with love. And you can make teas. Not only that, but you can use these alchemical process to make lotion, shampoo, toothpaste. You see what I'm saying? And again, let's just say you're ruled by Jupiter. So that means you want to get herbs that are ruled by Jupiter and make you a Jupiter tincture. So you can take that and meditate on that. We're gonna get further, okay? Because I'm gonna talk about more than just the physical. Okay, but this is where people usually stop. The physical. When they think about alchemy, think about what you've heard of alchemy. You've heard of the guys creating, trying to turn lead into gold, right? Like physical lead. They're not understanding the process here because it's a metaphor, okay? They know this because of the writings from the alchemists, the diaries from the alchemists. Again, but we understand that initiates in the occult speak in a certain code. Okay, remember, all the ancient teachings are spoken in code. They're spoken in mythology. Again, so here we go with this society that's so logical. As soon as we read these writings, we actually think that they were turning like actual lead into actual gold. Not understanding the mythology behind it, not understanding the symbolism, the metaphors behind it. Because if you did understand it, you would know the lead represents the physical body and the gold represents the spiritual body. So what are they saying when they're trying to turn lead into gold? They're trying to create the Merkaba. If you don't know what the Merkaba is, that's basically when you basically create where you're taking your physical self, or at least your consciousness from your physical self, because again, even that is a metaphor, but your consciousness from your physical self and it taking it to the spiritual realm. Just meditate on that and so you can know how powerful that is. Okay, that's like, because here's the thing, think about it like this: when you die, right? If you believe in reincarnation, when you die, if you believe in reincarnation, you come back into another body. And I know that Buddhism has a different form of reincarnation, but I already told you Buddhism is a religion. Okay. And of course, I'm not going to give you the whole truth. That's a whole nother story. But if you've been following my videos, you know you reincarnate through your bloodline. That's why the royal family was so focused on bloodline. That's why all royal families were so focused on bloodline. That's why all occultists from the ancient times are so focused on bloodline, because they know you come back through your bloodline. Okay. So here's the thing. All right. Here's the thing. It's really important to know this information, all right? I'm not going to waste too much time because again, I'm already on 20 minutes. So I want to get to um the other three worlds real, as quickly as and easy as possible so you can understand this. Remember, this is Alchemy 101. All right, this is not a full course on alchemy and what I know on alchemy. Maybe, who knows, maybe I might do how I was doing the magic coaching sessions, right? Teaching people how to effectively do magic and get what they want. Who knows, I might later on in the future or something do alchemy coaching lessons. I don't know. It's a lot of time and effort though. All right. So I hope you get the gist of this, right? Because what I was explaining was the lead turning into gold, the Merkaba, right? When you're taking your consciousness to the spiritual realm, that's what the Merkaba is. It's basically like a transportation system. I don't want to make it sound too complicated, but you're taking your consciousness to the spiritual realm. All right. But I just want to let you know that I was focusing on the physical realm when it comes to the herbal supplements, and you using your astrology chart to create alchemical processes. And this is not just with herbs, all right? There's so much more in depth. But again, this is just one-on-one. So much more. All right, so now here's what you haven't heard, most likely, is the alchemy with these higher other levels. So the next level, of course, is the water element, and this is your emotional realm. This is what Tantra is. All right, it's emotional alchemy. All right, so if you ever heard of Tantra, Kama Sutra, you have to do this with other people. All right, but here's the thing. I'm going to give you something else really quickly, because you're transmuting the energy from somebody else. And that's how you can create something. I'm not going to go too deep into that because I told you about that in plenty past videos about you taking sexual energy and creating something with it. That's called transmutation. All right. And I already told you that you can't reach your sexual peak unless you have somebody that you're truly, truly into. All right. You can use your sexuality by yourself and stuff like that, but you'll never reach your sexual peak unless you have somebody else. Okay. But there is another thing too that is slightly, of course, it's a weaker power, but it's something that you can utilize. And this is basically when you're in you're in a meditation, right? And you're focusing on your heart center, okay, your heart chakra, or whatever you want to call it. All you're doing is focusing on that energy with your eyes closed, but you have your focus here, and then you're envisioning somebody that you love or somebody that you know that loves you, like that your mother loves you, right? Or your father or your brother, your sister, and you can envision that love being sent to you to your heart center, and you can use that energy to create something or to help you create something, because like I said, it's not going to be as powerful as sexual energy. Okay, sexual energy is the peak energy, right? It's the highest form of energy that you could utilize. And again, if you're new to this channel, you're probably like, what, like, that doesn't make sense. Well, I don't want to have to break it down again, but just to make it simple, how did you get to this planet? Okay, that should let you know the energy that's most potent, because you got to this planet because your mother and your father came together through sexual energy and opened up the portal for you to come here. Point blank period. There's no other energy trumping that. All right. So, but yeah, again, that's emotional alchemy. The next thing, of course, is mental alchemy, the next realm up. All right. Now, this is the use of affirmations and symbols. I already let you guys know. I say things, but I don't always label them. Like when I'm speaking, guys, I'm letting you know a lot of stuff without even labeling them. Because who was the one that told you that regular affirmations are not enough? What did I tell you guys to do? I say have a phrase. Let's just say I want to be successful. Well, that's not a good affirmation. It should be a little bit more detailed than that. Let's just say Well, I'm just going to use I am successful right now. But obviously you should know it should be a little be it should be more specific than that. But I'm just going to use this for an example. Let's just say I want to be successful. Again, writing that down and posting it on your wall is not enough. As you can see in the background, I have papers all over my wall. You might think I'm crazy. These are affirmations, not just affirmations though. We're talking, what I do is I'm creating mind alchemy because I have the phrase, I want to be successful, right? And then I connect it with a symbol that represents success or prosperity right under it, drawn on the piece of paper. I don't know if you guys can see one of these papers in the back. Okay. So I write the phrase on a piece of paper, I want to be successful. And then I have the symbol, a symbol that represents success. Again, just start doing your research, just start looking up symbols and what they mean. This is mind alchemy because what are we doing here? The phrase is communicating with your conscious mind, your logical mind. The symbol is communicating with your subconscious mind, your intuitive mind. When you combine these, you can transmute this. But we take it a step further when it comes to alchemy because we got to transmute it to the physical. Okay? So when you create this paper that represents the combination of conscious and subconscious, you want to visualize in your mind's eye exactly what you desire, exactly what success means to you. Because if you do that hard enough, if you do that good enough with your full potential consistently, you will create that mind alchemy. Okay, I'm not going to spend too much time. Again, this is one-on-one. All right, so much more. I could probably do 3-hour lecture just on one of these realms, just on the physical alchemy. I mean, again, there's so many videos on physical alchemy. They're not labeled physical alchemy though. I'm just telling you what it is. I could do another 3 hours on the emotional alchemy. I can do another 3 hours on the mental alchemy. This is just one-on-one to give you a quick introduction of what you guys are missing, of what these other teachers are not telling you. Now I'm gonna give you something else that you probably, the spiritual alchemy. This is when you become what you want to become. I know that sounds really weird. All right. This is when you become the energy. And of course, you do rituals and stuff like that. Let's just say, I know you've heard motivational speakers. They say when you want to, like, the person you want to be, think about the person you want to be and become the person you want to be, no matter what your physical realm is. So let's just say you want to be a millionaire, right? But you live in the slums. So what they tell you to do is become the millionaire before you even get there. Okay? You gotta transform yourself. Does anybody remember when I told you that I was transforming myself? Because I need a certain energy. Okay? When I told people that I was representing Papa Legba at one point, people were confused, like, what? People that in the know, you become these characters, these archetypes. That's called spiritual alchemy. Cleopatra did it with Isis. Again, Isis is not the name. All right, and she's just an example. She became that archetype because she needed that energy. So she started presenting herself like the goddess Isis. Again, that's not the real name, but I'm using it for the sake of conversation. This stuff is littered all around letting you know, but nobody's telling you. Nobody's letting you know. So I'm letting you know right now. So when you see these archetypes, see in rituals, we think that we're supposed to pray to the certain gods. Now, certain entities do represent an entity, but again, you got to do your research to know. But a lot of these entities represent an archetype. that you become, because the archetypes are you. They're a part of you. Just like the planets represent you, the signs, right? But all the signs and all the planets represent what you are. So when you want to get on something, you need something, you need a certain energy, you have to transmute yourself. And that's what you do the ritual. You do the ritual. Again, I'm not going to explain that in depth. I'm just giving you a one-on-one and make you understand logically a little bit. You become the archetype. Okay? You become the archetype. So when I said Papa Legba is an archetype, guys. I know there are people that believe that is literally real. I'm not even taking nothing away from that because I don't want to argue with people. I remember I said you don't want to argue with people, just let them believe what they want to believe. But I'm telling you why they believe what they believe, because they were trained to take everything literal instead of getting the real power behind this, behind all this. We're going to talk about Anubis. Again, that's not the name. It's not the real name, but I'm using it for the sake of conversation. You become the archetype. You want to talk about whatever archetype you can think of for mythology. Like I said, there is certain entities that represent that, though. That's a whole nother conversation. All right. And you do have to ask for permission, and that's a whole nother story. But I'm letting you know. But here's the thing, it doesn't just stop there. You can use the archetype of animals as well. It goes so much deeper, but that's what the rituals is for. Now, what happens when you combine this all in one action, all in one point? That's how you should always do, is when you're focused on one point and you combine all four worlds. This is when you have a body. Remember I was telling you, you have a head, you have arms, you have legs. Yes, they're each individually powerful, but the main thing of alchemy is combining these things. So get to a singular point. Okay? So again, this is just an introduction. Alchemy 101, so you can understand the real alchemy that you've been lied to this whole time about what alchemy is. All right? And it most likely is not on purpose, but people are ignorant. They're just regurgitating what they see other YouTubers and what they just regurgitate information. Okay? Again, like I always tell you guys, this is information coming from the inside. All right? There's still secret societies out there because, of course, here's the thing, information is all out there, but it's still being hidden because there's so much now that the haystack is even bigger just for that little needle. So all actuality, finding true knowledge is even harder in today's time than it was before all this knowledge was available. You guys got to understand what's going on right now. Nothing has changed. Nothing is new under the sun. It's the same cycle that keeps playing out. Everybody keeps thinking, oh, everything is available to us. We got it. And it's the same thing. It's still being hidden in plain sight. But somebody has to organize it for you, just like somebody organized it for me. Okay. So, again, if you guys want to, want to know the truth of your astrology chart, you want a true astrology reading, again, contact me at codehealing22@gmail.com. The email is in the description of this video. I always do I also do the tarot readings, the numerology readings. I got that how to make money from home session. Again, if all you guys sitting at home right now want to make some money, all right. The detox session, if you want to know how to properly detox the body, for all you people that are scared of the virus, you're scared, you should want to keep your immune system up anyway. Get that detox consultation with me. The money spell, again, that's a spell to bring in money that's not even supposed to be given to the public. That's a masonry spell. So on and so forth. Again, if you want to know my my services, email me. I'll give you a full list of my services and the prices. Again, that's a codehealing22@gmail.com. The link, the email is in the description of this video. Again, it's occult healing 22, the number 22 at gmail.com. Okay, guys. So keep that energy high, and I'll be back soon with some more information. Peace, namaste, ashe, and you already know what it is. One love.